Our next guest here to talk about the NBA draft. He's the host of the MVP podcast. He's an analyst for Sports Talk 2319 with our friend of the show, Rashad Phillips. And he's an on-air personality on 104.7 down in Florida, covering the Orlando Magic for the past 3 years. We welcome in Max Van Auken. Max, how are you?
I'm doing fantastic, my man. It's been kind of a roller coaster, though. I just lost a bet to Brendan Haywood, so I was over the airport walking around in a Steph Curry jersey. It's not my proudest moment. I'm a LeBron guy, but I paid my dues. But now I'm extremely excited because we have the number 1 overall pick, so there's just a different type of vibe in the air right now.
Well, let's get to that number 1 pick. Two things. Who do you feel like the Magic are going to take? It seems like everybody's pointing toward Jabari Smith. And who do you feel like they should take?
Okay, so you have 2 prospects to choose from, really. So you have Chet Holmgren from Gonzaga, and you have Jabari Smith from Auburn. The Orlando Magic should, will, and need to draft Jabari Smith, and here's why. So Jabari Smith is like a 9-to-5 job, where Chet is like crypto. So a 9-to-5 job, you immediately reap the rewards and you get paid. Jabari will have an immediate impact with his perimeter shooting, which obviously the Magic desperately need, his shot creation, and his defensive versatility. Now, a 9-to-5, though, Chris, you can also work your way up to be a CEO. It may take more time, but I think Jabari could be a 20-point-per-game guy in about year 3. Now, when you look at Chet, he's like crypto. He's a unicorn. So there's a possibility he could be Bitcoin, where he has the highest upside and he knocks it out of the park. But not every cryptocurrency is Bitcoin. Some take a while to hit. Some never really hit. So I don't think he has the transferable skills as to have an immediate impact as quickly. There's more questions with him. There's more answers with Jabari. And right now, the Orlando Magic need answers. So they need to draft Jabari Smith.
Well, with that said, do you have any insight on which direction they're leaning? Now, I'll tell you this. When you see a magical unicorn on the lawn, it's hard to walk away from it, right? It's hard to walk away from something you don't see every now and then in a 7-footer, especially in today's NBA.
Absolutely.
No, that's very true. Now, I heard when I'm just covering these games and you talk to other media people, media personnel, the Orlando Magic have seen Jabari play a lot, especially locally when he's been in town and stuff. So they've seen him play a lot. So I know they have a special place in their heart for him. Now, I don't have that confirmed if that's the pick they're going to go with. But when there's smoke, there's fire. So I would bet my money that Jabari Smith goes number 1 overall.
So why not no consideration of Paolo Banchero? A lot of people like him, too. It seems like most people feel like he's that 3rd pick. But do you think there's that big of a gap between the top 2 and Paolo?
Now, Paolo is nice, and I think he's going to have an immediate impact, right? I think he's going to score points in bunches, and shout out to my guy Rashad Phillips with his positional dictionary. He's like a dual forward, so he's going to be a guy that could do a little bit of everything. But when you look at the lineup for what Orlando needs, like I said, they really do need shooting. So you have a really good young core, a very long and lanky team defensively. But I believe what Jabari is able to do suits what the Magic needs more, right? You have Jonathan Isaac coming back. He's going to have the ball. Markelle Fultz is in the paint a lot. I just feel Jabari Smith is able to spread out the floor. He can create his own shot. It's just a better overall fit.
Okay, and in terms of, we talked about the top 3 young gentlemen who probably go 1, 2, 3 in this year's draft. Have the Orlando Magic entertained maybe trading the number 1 pick?
Not that I'm aware of, and I wouldn't do that either. Because the one thing that the Orlando Magic have been doing a really good job on, it's no secret they've been very bad over the past couple of years, right?
Right.
But they've been able to make it very interesting. Like when you go to these games, it doesn't feel like they're the worst team or they're about to be the number 1 overall pick. Because they've built this narrative. Yeah, they've built this sense. Yeah, because, Chris, if you look at it, you get a guy like Jalen Suggs. You get a personality like Cole Anthony, who's just in the dunk contest. And now, don't get it twisted. I'm not saying
he didn't. All love for Cole Anthony, but that was the worst dunk contest I've ever seen in the NBA, and that's saying a lot. It was bad. It was bad.
It was bad, but everyone loves the idea of tomorrow. So people are so excited to see what a young core can do. Now, I'm a glass half full type of guy, so of course I'm going to say there's positives, but yeah, there's no secret the Orlando Magic haven't been good. But the fact that you have a young core, that's usually a great way to sell people to say, hey, you have something to look forward to for tomorrow. And so that number one overall pick, there's a special feel when you think of number one overall picks. And I do want to clarify this, though. People feel like a number one overall pick has to be a legendary guy. And I don't believe it always has to be that. You look at Andrew Wiggins, for example, number one overall pick, and you put him at the Golden State Warriors in the right situation, and he played a pivotal role for the Warriors to win a championship. Now, he may not go down as a legendary player, but he had an impact on the biggest stage. So even if Jabari isn't that legendary player you want a number one overall pick to be, he's still going to have an immediate impact. So just that hope that you're able to sell, I don't think you traded at all.
But but with that said, Wiggins was not, the number one pick for Golden State.
Minnesota's
not benefiting from how Wiggins turned out. So I get what you're saying, but there's also like, are we going to draft someone number one? Play with them for 7 years. It doesn't work out. Then we trade him away, and then he has success somewhere else. Like, where's the value in that?
Right. No, that's true now, but you're still getting a guy who can be very impactful immediately. And my question would be, though, how many number one overall picks have we seen that have been that guy that we thought he would be, where he's a superstar right away? Right. I mean, you look at the
very few, right?
Very few. You're
talking about the transcendent players at that point. Let me ask you this: Jonathan Isaac, he's a guy with a lot of promise that Orlando has. When will he be back, and how good can this guy be? I think they're expecting him next season. How good do you think he can be? Can he be a star?
Yes, he can. He could be phenomenal. Now, availability is the best ability. I mean, we're seeing it with the biggest stars right now with Anthony Davis and Kyrie Irving. So whenever you have to question someone's availability, whether that's injury or whatnot, that's always a concern. So that concern is real, and it's there. But when he plays, he's 2022 basketball, a guy who's a positionless player, can guard 1 through 5, play 1 through 5. He was improving upon his jump shot. He's a get-it guy. He's a great locker room guy. So he could be a star for the Orlando Magic. We just need him to stay healthy, and that is the biggest concern for him. So if, in a perfect world, he comes back and he's healthy, he can be that guy for Orlando.
All right, that is our man, Max Van Auken. Before you go, so you said you were wearing a Steph Curry jersey, but you're a LeBron guy. Are they mutually exclusive? Like you can't rock with both guys?
You can celebrate both of them, but the bet was now. I told Brandon Hayward before he won a championship, he's a top 10 player of all time. I believe that. I love Steph. But my thing is, I had faith in the Lakers, and it came back to haunt me. So that's what really made it bad for me.
Yeah, well, welcome to the club. It came back to hunt us all. Hell.
Well, hey, maybe y'all will get Kyrie Irving.
Come on.
And it'll turn everything.
We'll see.
Very little chance. We'll get into that later, Ephraim, but very little chance of that happening, I think. All right, that's our man, Max Van Auken, MVP Podcast. You can check him out there, and also on Sports Talk 2319. Great stuff, brother. Keep up the excellent work.
Guys, have a good one.